You are now tuning in to the Evolution Daily Podcast. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Evolution Daily Podcast. This is going to be, gotta be getting close. Alpha Chad, you should know this right now off the top of your head. What episode number is this?
Oh, I should know this. I don't know.
Oh my Lord. Guys, welcome to the episode of the podcast. We don't know what number it is.
Might be 92.
People should know this. Let's see. This is episode 92.
Yes.
Good job. I mean, still, it took a long time to get there, but
Correct.
that's okay. Some of you are wondering, Aaron, Wednesday was the worst day of my entire life. Many of you are thinking, because there was no podcast on Wednesday. There's a reason why there was no podcast on Wednesday. Somebody within this organization dropped the ball entirely on getting the podcast out. It wasn't me, and it wasn't Bo Stevens. No, that's not true. No, there was no discussion of it. It was completely irrelevant to me because I did something very, very important for my soul this past weekend. So I'm just going to go ahead and get into that. So first off, I just want to say this too real quick. I believe that between episodes now and 100-ish, I think that these are going to be looked back upon as the golden age of this podcast. And here's what I mean. It's going to, so like especially what you're about to be doing when I'm in Texas, right? We're about to pop. The podcast is about to pop, right? Like with some of the stuff we talked about earlier and some other things. The podcast is about to pop. And it's going to be, these episodes right now are going to be fun for you guys to look back on and be like, whoa, this was back before he was on Rogan. Whoa, this was back before he was hanging out with Goggins. Whoa, this is back before like he had his own fucking hit show on Fox News. This is going to be, you're going to look back and it is fun. Like even now, every once in a while, I love going back to old like episodes 5 of Rogan, where it's just him and Red Band sitting in front of this like jankety ass 240p webcam, and you just see like the beginnings of all of this.
That's cool.
Right? And so now as the podcast is about to blow up, don't get me wrong, the quality is going to go up. I am going to get as ratchet as humanly possible, always. I am going to continue down this road of ratchetness. I saw actually just the other day, a guy in the Evolution Daily Mastermind made did I have a speech impediment right there? Did I just impede my speech? The Evolution Daily Mastermind, I am sipping coffee from the restaurant out of the Evolution Daily mug. You cannot get your own Evolution Daily mug yet. It says, do you think they'll be able to see this on camera?
You should be able to.
It says Masculine Life Energy on this side, and then it's got the new Evolution Daily logo on the other side. Beautiful, beautiful piece of handcrafted mug.
They look awesome.
Alpha Chad makes these himself. It would cost us about $1 to just have them made. But to me, I think, what am I going to spend that $1 for? It only takes him 1 hour per mug. So if I have to spend $1 or just put him to work for an hour, what's the point of me spending that $1? So Alpha Chad's been handcrafting these, blowing glass, in there, learning ceramics.
My hands have been bleeding lately. I've been meaning to ask you
You're
about.
doing a stencil with like fucking.
They're all hand painted. Good thing I took ceramics.
So look, guys, the podcast is going to be blowing up. And that's exciting. I've been wanting that my whole life. It's going to happen. Everything is in motion. I'm putting it out into the universe that without doubt, you guys will look back on these episodes and say, wow, I can't believe how primitive it all felt at that time. And a guy in our mastermind group, awesome guy, love this dude. He made a response video to like an old famous kind of like pickup coach, retiring. And apparently it had a lot to do with like the toxicity of red pill and all this kind of stuff. And I actually did not watch the original video from the PUA retiring, but I watched the dude's reaction video in our group because I love all the content he puts out. If you're watching this, I love all your content that you put in the group. it was a lot of what was discussed, at least in the reaction video, is basically that the PUA coach felt very like stifled in today's world because of people coming after you, whatever. I will go to jail. I can go to jail and I'll be fine. I can die and I'll be fine. I know what's after this life. I'm not going to tell you guys, but I know what comes next. Put me anywhere and I will be happy. Send me to jail. Send me to fucking Guantanamo. Send me to an island off the coast of Australia. I don't care. I will be fine. So I'm going to continue to be as ratchet as humanly possible. Women love me.
Is this about the PC culture?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to continue to be extremely ratchet. I don't care if I die and I will also kill myself before going to jail. I just want to put that out there. Try to arrest me. Try to fucking come in here. I don't care that much. I will blow my head off before going to fucking jail. That's a goddamn fact. Even if I don't know it's about me, if I even just see a cop walking through there down this hallway, I'm killing myself.
Wow.
100%. I'm gone. I'm not writing a note. I'll write one note. I'm going to write a note, and it's literally going to be one girl's name. And it's going to say, this is all because of you. And it's this one girl. And I hope that is my final fuck you to her and my final fuck you to the world. But don't ever try to arrest me because I'm going to die first. Anyways, I say all that because I'm mentioning the podcast blowing up. And so people are expecting it to become diluted. I love Rogan. I don't want to say anything. He's diluted himself a little bit.
I've heard you complain about this.
I just take a side, take a stance, and don't. I just think that he gets so swayed by his like extreme liberal elite friends that I think that many of his opinions are not his. And I think that maybe from the outside, we see it more than him in it so much, which this is very common. This is why even me and my buddy Chuck last night were talking about starting a business mastermind where we take like 4 to 5 guys in totally different industries. And you can see shit in somebody else's industry that they're so in the industry.
Yeah.
They can't see it.
Yeah.
And then someone just drops what they think is like a passing thought. Oh, well, why wouldn't you just do this? And then to the person in the industry, it's like, oh my God, how did I not think of that? This happens. This is why it's way more beneficial to collaborate with people outside of your industry than in your industry, which is also a major part of why I stay so outside of like the fucking like the little like pickup playpen, right? People tell, I'd love to see a video with you and him. What are we going to talk about? What am I going to talk about with another pickup coach? This is how I help them get over approach anxiety. This is what I think about pulling from the club. Oh, this is what I think about pulling from the club. Oh, that's sick. Oh, they're pretty much the same thought. Have you pulled from the club? Yeah, I've pulled a lot. I've pulled more than you. No way, man. Have you heard this guy? He fakes pulls. He posts about fake pull. No, really? What am I going to talk to you about as another pickup coach? I want to break out. I want to get David Goggins on here. I want to get Joe Rogan on here. I want to get Caller Daddy on here. I want to get Grant Cardone on here. Are you writing these down?
They're on video.
All right. So I did something this last week.
What was it, Aaron?
So, guys, since the election of 2020, I have been horribly addicted to technology, worse than ever in my life. I prided myself massively on resisting the technology addiction that's happening in the world today. If you type in a video called Evolution Daily Depression, you'll find me out in the woods making a phenomenal video about 3 years ago talking about phone breaks, technology addiction. I've been on this for years, before anybody really. I was telling my parents long ago about like, don't let my brother play so many video games at a young age.
Really?
Like, stop letting him sit in his room and play like countless hours of video games. They never listened to me. And now, you know, he's on hard drugs. He's like sucking dudes off in the woods behind our old house. Like just crazy shit. And it's all from video games, honestly. Heroin is like in the family now, which is just great. I'm kidding. My brother's hilarious and does none of those things. And I don't even think I think he barely even plays video games anymore. So I guess I'm wrong. When the election was coming up, the news was just so like fired up. It was so fun. It was Trump's presidency was some of the most fun I've ever had. I mean, just every day was a new like, Trump and the German prime minister duke it out at the UN. Trump grabs this guy's shoulder and like shoves him to the side as he's walking through. Trump says Rosie O'Donnell's fat. Every day was just so fun.
Endless entertainment.
And now we just have somebody's grandfather, somebody's great grandfather is just falling up these stairs now, walking up to a plane. He's just on there and President Harris, or I'm the president. He's just, it's so boring. It's terrible. Life is boring now. And around the election of 2020, that's when it got the most fun and the most chaotic. So I started every day dying to see what happened. Like I would wake up and I had to get on Twitter. I've been off Twitter for years and I got back on Twitter just to see what's like going down. So every day I just get right back on Twitter. I'm just new YouTube video from Salty Cracker, new video from fucking Shapiro, new video from Crowder. I'm just watching, consuming, Candace Owens, all these people. And it got so fun. That's the problem. Everything in life that's addicting is fun. You're not doing Oxycontins because you hate it. You're doing Oxycontins because you have the best time ever when you're on Oxycontins. I have the best time ever when I'm watching Salty Cracker put out a video about election fraud. It's fun. So then the election hits, horribly addicted. And long story short, I will just say that I think I noticed a decline in my ability to actually focus on any one project at any one given time. So last weekend, last Sunday, we'll start with last Saturday night. Last Saturday night, I had a girl over, and around midnight, I was telling her she knew all about the trip and stuff. And I'm like, here we go. And I put my phone on airplane mode, and then I turned the phone off entirely, and I put it in the drawer in the kitchen. So this is now Saturday night, and then going to bed, around 2 a.m. And then Sunday, on Saturday, I had wrote up directions to get to a tiny cabin in the woods. And so then I now wake up that day and don't look at my phone. Don't do anything with technology. Don't look at any screen whatsoever. Zero. And I then look at my directions from the day before. I pack and I drive to this cabin, a little tiny home that was about an hour and a half away from my house. And I went out into the wilderness, and that first day, you start doing weird shit. You start feeling in your pocket for your phone. You start reaching over to the seat where you normally keep it when you drive. You start going to like change the song on the radio with your hands. You start doing weird shit because you're just, this is how you've lived since you were 15? So many of you. So I now am I'm having dopamine withdrawal. I'm having actual dopamine withdrawal. I'm just like, oh my God, fuck. This is crazy. Oh, dude, what if I'm having weird thoughts? What if this thing got shut down? What if my fucking dad fell at work and hurt himself and no one can get a hold of him? I'm just having all these crazy thoughts. And these are all thoughts that are, these are all the manifestations of resistance to me just being. And just being in the woods with no purpose in life other than starting a fire and keeping it going. That is my only purpose in life at this point. I had no other joy when I was out there. That was the only thing I could do. So I'm out in the woods and I start experiencing a lot of anxiety. And then later in the evening, the anxiety starts really going away. And I'm putting all of my energy and focus into creating a fire. And I had bought firewood, and then I brought it out with me and hauled it down. I had no sense of time because my car was up at the very top of this ridge. So it would just be hard for me to go back up to the car. It wasn't a fun experience to go from the car to where I was staying way down below into the woods. And then especially at night, there's no way in hell I'm going to the car. And the car is the only clock. I have no sense of time whatsoever. All I know is that the sun is going down, and that's all I know. So I'm out there, and it is freezing. It is horrifically cold. And I start the fire. I start getting the fire going. Within about 30 minutes, the fire completely dies out and it becomes hopeless. I have no more newspaper. I have no more small sticks. It's completely dark and I now cannot have a fire. So because it's so cold outside, I am now doomed to go into my tiny little teepee. And when I say a cabin, you guys are maybe picturing a square and it's kind of big maybe. Maybe that's what you're picturing. This is they call it an A-frame. Look up A-frame tiny home. Actually, fuck it. Type in Airbnb A-frame Athens, Ohio. It'll probably come right up, the exact one I stayed at. So, and then go burn it down. And then go light it on fucking fire when you find it on Airbnb. So, I had a very enjoyable stay. So that first night, I'm now stranded in my A-frame, and it's so small that there is only space for the bed and then a small sliver for you to stand up from the bed. That's how small this is. I mean, I'm talking tiny. And I'm now doomed to be in this thing all night. Well, the A-frame, it has just cracks. It's just, there's no insulation. It is as cold inside of this thing as it is outside. So now what you have is you have me under 2 giant blankets. And I'm under these giant blankets and my body heat is keeping me alive. And so I'm under these blankets. I'm really reliving many relationships in my life. I'm having horrible thoughts that I would have loved to have been able to distract from, but instead I was forced to process my emotions, which was terrible. So I'm now just under this blanket. Any part of my body that comes out of the blanket in any capacity, including my face, is freezing off. It's my toes had come out and I got diabetic toes from them freezing off while I was under these blankets. And so I'm under these blankets now and I'm just having terrible thoughts, anxious thoughts that I would love to distract from. And it really is just all about relationship stuff. I think everything else in life I'm pretty good on. I feel good about most things in life. It was mostly just thinking about different relationships, female relationships, girls that maybe I wish I would have, that I do regret or wish that I would have handled things differently, girls that have hurt me and then wondering and having to face like, why have I felt so negatively about that? Just things to that nature. And so I'm kind of just having a whirlwind. And then eventually, because I am forced to process, I find a lot of peace that same night. So I find a lot of peace, and then I manage to fall asleep for a few hours. And I fall asleep for a few hours and wake up and it's still pitch black. I have no clue what time it is. No idea at all. And then so then I just lay there and wait for the sun to come up. That's all I have to do. I have nothing but me and the sun in this A-frame in Athens, Ohio, with no isolation, and me wishing I would have told a couple girls I love them, and then really getting to the bottom of it and thinking, some of these girls I regret not like holding on to, what would have happened? Okay, so I held on to them. I did the right thing. We end up in a relationship. We ain't living happily ever after. I'm not at a place in life to settle down right now. I would have cheated on them. I would have eventually either broke up with them and it would have been even worse than when it was at the beginning, or I would have ended up cheating on them, which is a terrible thought. And for anybody judging that, most of you are only ever as loyal as your fucking options. I love when really ugly, fat, gross people talk about loyalty in relationships. You can't cheat. Go try to cheat for 3 days. Go out for 3 days with only the intention to cheat, and you can't. You're only as loyal as your options. I respect it when A-list celebrities talk about it. I respect it when alpha motherfuckers talk about being loyal. Then I'll respect you. If you're disgusting and couldn't cheat anyway, don't talk about loyalty. You have none. You're only loyal to your fat wife because she's the only person that'll ever suck your dick, and she probably doesn't suck your dick anymore. You're not even getting your dick sucked, so don't talk to me about loyalty. So I'm out in the woods. The fuck? Do we have a small animal over there? What's that goddamn sound? So I'm out in the woods, and I wake up and I wait for the sun to come up, and then finally the sun comes up. And on this day, I get the fire going as soon as I wake up, because it is, again, freezing fucking cold. It's horrible out here. I should have done this in the summer. No, I shouldn't have. I'm glad I did it when I did it. I'm very, very glad. Very glad. So it's freezing, and now I'm having fun. Now I am at total peace. It's like, I would assume if you were addicted to heroin, the first week or whatever, you probably have this horrific withdrawal. I don't know how long heroin addiction, I don't know how long that lasts. But then I would assume once the heroin's out of your system and when the withdrawal is gone, you're just like, wow, thank God I'm off heroin. This is crazy. Like, oh my God.
So you felt better the next day.
So good. I felt so good. And I'm just having fun. I'm running around shirtless in the woods. I did bring a camera. I brought podcast materials. I brought all this stuff thinking I was going to do a podcast, but it just didn't feel right to speak while I was out there. I didn't want to speak. I just was like enjoying the silence and my own silence. And I always talk so much. I have to talk to you fuckers twice a week. This is insane. I talk too much. I want a girlfriend that doesn't... I want to date a mute. I would love to date a mute.
Why?
Because we wouldn't talk at all. It would be purely physical. Hopefully her love language is physical touch. Imagine being a mute and your love language is like words of affirmation or something. That would not be fun. So if I dated a hot mute... Dude, are there any I'm going to look this up. Hot mute. I wonder if there's a dating site for mutes. And then how would the girl know if I was lying ever? As long as I never talked around her.
Lying? What are you lying about?
That I'm a mute.
Oh, you're pretending to be a mute.
Maybe.
Why don't you just what could really give them value?
What?
When you learn Spanish, learn sign language or whatever they need.
Wow. But
right?
Even that would be too much communication.
Oh.
I want
Wait, I don't think they need do they need sign language? What do they need? That's deaf.
But a mute, I believe that means that you are blind and deaf.
Oh. Okay.
And I think you were born deaf, so that means you don't have any capacity to speak. Some people go deaf later and they still speak, but they just sound very strange. But I think if you're born deaf, you are now a mute, I believe. So yeah, I would have to learn sign language, but I'd prefer not to. I would love for it to just be an extremely submissive and dominant relationship. I'm just kind of dragging her through life and she doesn't really know what's happening. And we're just fucking and going on little trips and she gets to see things. She gets to look at the ocean and I look at her and smile and that's it. So I'm going to look into hot mutes. So
you're in the woods.
I want a clip of this called hot mute. Aaron wants a hot mute. I want you to clip this up.
You want me to clip this?
Yeah, clip this. Hot mute. So I'd like to get a hot mute. So I'm in the woods on day 2 of me being out here. And I am now in pure bliss. I'm running around shirtless. I'm filming myself shirtless out in the woods. I'm starting a fire successfully this time, a raging fire. And then the coolest thing ever happened, which was that after hours of having this fire, it now starts to hail. And so now I'm getting hailed on while holding a trash can lid and an umbrella. Your umbrella. I'm holding an umbrella up and then a trash can lid balanced on a stick over my fire to keep it going. And I'm shirtless. And it's a really great physical feeling, actually, because half your body's freezing cold and getting hailed on. The other half is hot, too hot, because I have to stand really close to the fire. So then I would kind of rotate, and it just felt cool. I felt like I was in a song of fire and ice. That's what this podcast will be called. This is either going to be called Hot Mute. Aaron wants a hot mute, or a song of fire and ice. Or we could combine those titles, but write that down. Yeah, hot mute or fire and ice. So I'm now just keeping this fire going, and I had a lot of time to reflect while I was out there. And I just had total peace that final day. And I thought so much about how great I felt being out there, being disconnected, being away from this society that is really in a degenerate decay. Many of you struggle with so many things in your life because you're not totally in touch with your masculine life energy. And these are things that I've talked about for a long time. I've toyed around with the idea of a man camp where I take men out into the wilderness and we just do extremely masculine shit. And in fact, even before I went on that trip, we got these mugs that say masculine life energy. And I think that as somebody who, me, myself, definitely struggled with what it meant to be a man when I was younger, struggled with even feeling like just seeing so many people in my life fucking and getting laid and I would have never been able to put it into words then, but looking back, really seeing the masculine feminine dynamic at play all of the time and then never really being a part of it. Because your masculinity is really only ever truly able to express itself to its absolute 100% potential when it is now in synergistic alignment with the feminine, because the masculine is only half of the universe and the feminine is the other half. And so I think that when maybe a lot of my friends were able to have synergy between their masculine and then feminine, and I never was, maybe it always made me not feel as masculine in a lot of ways. And I think that that's something that a lot of men deal with. And I think that there's many, many ways outside of getting to that place where you are able to have full synergy with feminine energy, to be able to tap deep down into your well. It's almost as if your masculine energy is a volcano that wants to erupt. It's almost like it's boiling down there, but then that top layer of rock that keeps it locked down, that is society. That's society making you go to some bullshit office with fluorescent lights every day to do a job that you hate because your parents told you get this college degree and you'll make a lot of money and this is the safe route to take. That layer of rock keeping down your masculine energy is you not working out, not feeling good in your body, being overweight, being weak. That layer of rock keeping down your masculine energy is you not even having the energy, the physical energy in your life to do things. You watch this podcast, you hear me talk about fucking girls, you hear us bring on business experts, you hear me bringing on fitness experts, you hear these things and you don't, and then you think to yourself, but I'm so tired. I'm so tired. I don't even have physical energy. All of these things are the layer of bedrock keeping your masculine energy. Porn is at that layer of bedrock. Why am I going to go out and try to have synergy with the feminine when I can have synergy with Janice Griffith's asshole right here on my phone? I can synergize my hand, my dick, and Janice Griffith's asshole here on my phone. Why do I need the feminine's right here? The problem is it's the fake feminine. It's the illusion of the feminine. It's the siren from the Odyssey. It's the demon mermaids that take the shape of beautiful women and lure you out to the sea and kill you. That's what porn is. Porn is the siren. And if you want to learn more about the siren, I recommend not only for that reasoning, but for so many reasons to read The Art of Seduction. I would not be the man I am today without The Art of Seduction by Robert Greene. Me and my buddy Jared, one of my first wings ever, we would actually sit there and do like a Bible study with The Art of Seduction. We would take turns reading out loud paragraphs from The Art of Seduction. I really recommend reading that book. So all of these various, the self-doubt, the status crushing environments that you find yourself in, the ego. So we all know that throughout life, you're going to have people that kind of the crabs in the bucket, right? We know that it's like we have friends and family and these different people that kind of try to keep us from going off and maybe taking new opportunities, doing cool shit. But we don't really ever talk enough about why. And the reason why is because your survivalistic ego that I'm talking about this all the time lately, that protective human ego that's within you that is constantly fighting your soul. Your soul is the lava in the volcano. So that's your soul, is your masculine life energy. But the ego that is designed to keep you alive, to make sure no harm comes to you, to make you eat, to make you literally just survive until one day, ideally, you blow a load into some chick. The ego can only know itself in relation to other egos. It's the only sense of who it is that it has, is to view itself in relation to the other egos around it. So the reason why people try to bring you down, your friends don't want you to escape and do some cool shit because, you've got fucking, this whole group that you went to high school with. You got this whole group that you went to high school with, and they're all just kind of like, fucking, I don't know, man, that college thing, fucking whatever. I'm going to go do this. I'm going to go work at this fucking whatever. And they're smoking cigs, and they're getting wasted, and they're on drugs, and they're just driving around doing dumb shit. Well, then you start talking to them, guys, I've been really into like this personal development stuff. I've been really like, trying to get my life together, whatever. That's gay. I'll never forget this loser fucking kid. I love him. He's a great kid. But this fucking kid who I sent him old school pickup videos that were changing my life. Self-development pickup videos that were changing my life. And to me, I just felt like I was like, what have I found? What is this? Oh my God, I didn't know all of this was possible. And I started taking action. Many of you know my story. I started taking action 24 hours after discovering pickup. I was out at the bar. I had to get wasted. I'm always open about that. I had to get blacked out to start doing pickup when I first started doing it. I was out just like my buddy at the time, who then became my roommate of a couple years. I said, bro, I was like, let's fucking go out to the bar and talk to chicks. He's like, what? You never talk to chicks when we go out. And I'm like, I know, but I found this shit, man. It's all possible. And so we start going out next night, and I'm getting sloppy drunk, and I'm talking to girls, and it's not good, and it's terrible, and they're looking at me. I'm fucking weird. And my buddy used to, I don't even want to say what he used to say, but he would talk about my eyes when I would get wasted and start hitting on chicks. And he'd be like, you're scaring them all. You're scaring them with your fucking eye, your crazy eyes. And it was funny, and it was true. I was terrible when I started, and that's okay. But I started immediately, and I shared it with this kid who he fucking told me. He goes, he had been with this just not attractive girl for a long time, and now he's just devastated because she now cheated on him with like this weed dealer, and he was such like a good guy. So the fact that this guy was a weed dealer, it was so terrible, right? Me knowing what I know now, I mean, fucking duh, of course. You're boring, fat, have no purpose. You're not exciting. You do nothing. You were caught in a comfort cycle, and you got fatter with the girl and lost all of your masculinity if you ever had any to begin with. So then the new exciting drug dealer comes around who's living life on the edge, and of course she's attracted to him. Of course she is. Duh. So, but back then I go, dude, listen, man, you're all torn up right now. Here's all these videos. Like, dude, you can go out and meet women, man. Like, you don't have to be torn up about this one girl. This is how you go out and meet women and be better and like lose weight. This is all happening, man. It's crazy. This is what I'm doing. Because all those guys too, they would talk about it. Like, dude, how have you like, I don't know, you like lost all this weight. You just seem more confident like over time and stuff. And then I hit him up like a week later and I go, dude, did you watch those videos yet, man? And he goes, I think all that like personal development shit's bullshit. And I go, what? What do you mean? Do you think that improving the actions you've been taking on a daily basis, you think that doing better actions is bullshit? I mean, I didn't say all this. I was just like, are you serious? And he's like, yeah, man, that shit's like not for me. Well, I don't know what he's doing now. I hope he's fucking dead. No, I'm kidding. He's great. He's a really good guy. And if you ever heard this, I mean, I wish you would have. I wish you would have taken me up on that. I could have brought you to the top with me, but instead, you're probably fat and detailing cars. That's what I bet you're doing right now. Is detailing cars as a fat fuck, and you're still upset over Cassie. I'm going to start using full first and last names.
Okay.
I've decided. For every girl that I sleep with, for everybody that comes into my life, I am going to start using full first and last names. That's something I've decided I'm going to do.
Okay.
So I want a hot mute girlfriend. And look,
I don't think you
this
finished.
top bedrock of the volcano, you're right, I did not. This top bedrock that is holding down your masculine energy in all ways, this needs to be eradicated. And what happens is you drill through that. You drill through that bedrock, and now the masculine energy is able to bubble up to the surface of your life. And all of these things that you want to do, you want more women, you want more money, you want a better body, you want to lead your family, you want to be a leader in your community, you want to be somebody that your siblings look up to, you want to be somebody that your grandmother is fucking proud of. You want your parents to respect you as a man. You want to stop going to work and getting shit on. You want to stop being a wallflower in social settings. You want to stop avoiding social settings altogether because your crippling self-loathing and social anxiety keeps you home. All of these things. Ask yourself the question right now. If you were fully aligned with your masculine life energy, if you were able to tap into the ancestral masculine energy that your ancestors exhibited on a daily basis by hunting, by gathering, by leading, by warring, by pillaging, by traveling and adventuring off into new lands, getting in boats, not knowing what the fuck they were going to find if they found anything, that ancestral masculinity that has now been lost within you, if you were able to find that, could you even fathom not having the energy to live a better life, to be happier? Could you even fathom? No. It's the answer to everything, is finding that masculine life energy within you and allowing it to bubble to the surface. You can't talk to a fucking girl at Target. Well, I've had past traumas in my life that make me feel like I'm not enough, whatever. Do you? Or do you have no masculinity within you? And listen to me, guys. So much of this isn't your fault. You've been doing the best you could do up to this point. You've been doing the best you can do. Many of you have parents that were unsupportive. Many of you had bullying situations in your life. Many of you grew up with fucking sisters. You know how bad it is to grow up with sisters? No. Especially if there's no strong father figure in the household. You got a couple sisters and a single mom, you're probably trans at this point. Most trans people literally just like didn't have a strong father figure and shit. They just like didn't grow up in like with like a masculine alpha male, and they just feel feminine their whole life because they see their father getting feminized left and fucking right by their mother, who was forced to get into her masculine energy because she felt unsafe and unled. So she now had to like remove the feminine, tap into the masculine, then start dominating the beta male dad. And now you grow up not feeling masculine. So much, guys, and that's just like a couple little things. So many of these circumstances in your life will lead you to not feeling like a man. Testosterone levels since 1980 have dropped by an average of 1% every year since 1980.
Wow.
What year are we in right now? 2021? So you mean to tell me that we have about half the amount of testosterone on average as men that they did in only 1980? Only 1980. That's just when they started documenting this. Look at men from World War II. You look at these old World War II documentaries and photos and shit, they'll show this like 40-year-old man and they go, John Gregory was only 19 in this photo. You're like, what the fuck? This is like a grown-ass dude.
He's got gray hair.
He's just like a man. They're just chiseled and masculine, and they're not fat. They're not gross. People were not just weirdly hormonally fat. I walk around the world today and I see hormonally fat people everywhere. I used to be hormonally fat. Now I'm jacked. I just got back from the gym. I caught this bad bitch looking over at me. She saw my chest exploding from my body. Jesus Christ. And then I fucked her.
Yeah.
I fucked her in her fucking asshole. So, listen to me. I am pleased to announce that shortly after coming back from the woods, I got on the internet and I looked around and I thought to myself, after taking excessive notes while I was out in the wilderness on what I truly believe, more than a boot camp, more than an online game course, more than anything, if I really ask myself, how could I make the biggest impact on men today? Like literally, forget everything, forget money, forget what I like to do. I love doing boot camps, forget fucking all these other like things. Forget what I think is fun and what's cool and what does help people in some ways and others. What's the number one thing? So I took extensive notes, and I don't know, I just feel like kind of pulling up these notes a little bit right now and maybe talking about a few things on here. I'm not going to get into all of it. So I took extensive notes, and I came back, and I rented out for Labor Day weekend. I rented out 64 acres of no limitations, field and forest. No limitations. I was very clear to this guy. I said, if I rent this land for Labor Day weekend and I want to be as loud as I want at 3 a.m., a live band at 3 a.m., that's not going to happen, but I needed to make sure that like that's appropriate. And he said, you're renting out the entire campground. He's like, no, there's nothing. You can be as loud. There is no limitations whatsoever. I made that extremely clear. I said, if people drive, can people just like drive onto the lot, whatever? He's like, drive through the whole fucking field. I don't care. He does. There's no limitations. And that was very important to me. I rented out 64 acres of field and forest to host the first ever inaugural Evolution Daily Man Camp. And this is something I've teased for a long time. I've just had the idea for a long time, right? I've made posts about it. The posts will get like over 100 likes. Everybody commenting, I'm in, let's do it. This sounds amazing. People have asked us on boot camp, are you guys ever going to do like that man camp thing that Aaron brings up sometimes? And you're just like, I'm not sure. And I'm like, I don't know, maybe one day, it's been the thing. Even one of my business coaches, I made a post about it the other day and he hits me up. He's like, finally, you're doing this. Because I told him like 2 years ago that I wanted to do man camp. So I rented 64 acres of field and forest with streams and woods and field. And we will be hosting on Labor Day weekend the inaugural first ever Evolution Daily Man Camp.
I'm so excited.
Now you guys are hearing this now. This is the early bird, like, I told you this. I said we've never done an event where it's anything more than a month and a half, 2 months out. I always just announce something. I put it out. People sign up. And it's just kind of quick. And we get out there. We go to Miami. We go to fucking LA, whatever. Do the boot camp. It's cool. It's cool. This is going to be earth-shattering, the man camp. Now, I want you to go to evolutiondaily.com/mancamp. You can just go to evolutiondaily.com. It's going to be right there. You're going to see the words all-inclusive. And you can read all about this there on the page. But here's what I'm doing. We're making it all-inclusive, meaning all you do is you buy a ticket and you either drive or you buy a flight, and that's it. We provide your food. We provide your lodging. We provide all of the materials, everything, all-inclusive, because all-inclusive is fun. That's cool. You just buy a ticket to something. I don't want to go to a cruise and think like, oh, I'm going to spend all this money on dinners and shit. I want it to be all-inclusive. I want an all-inclusive resort. So Man Camp is going to be all-inclusive. Now, some of what's going to be happening at Man Camp. This is going to be a very tribal event. Everybody will be required to be painted. Everybody will have tribal face paint. Shirtless is optional. I will be shirtless for sure the entire weekend and completely barefoot, maybe wearing some sort of a loincloth, something like that. My body will be painted. This will be very tribal, very primal. You will be doing extremely masculine activities. Now, again, so early on right now, I'm not ready to fully... I also don't think I'm ever going to fully tell anybody what's fully going to take place.
You want some of this to be surprise.
Big time, right? It's like, you don't want to know everything you're going to do when you get there.
No.
I want people to be a little on edge, like, whoa, what are the... So I'm down to tell them some things, but there are several things that will never get told until we're there. Some that are definitely just straight up illegal. I mean, some things it's going to be illegal.
I don't even know about these ones.
These ones, there's going to be like illegal shit. So no cops are allowed. No, actually, I'm kidding. If you're a cop, you actually get 10% off because I support the police. Hit me up if you're a cop, 10% off. Edit that part out. No, leave it in. I'm kidding. 10% off if you're a cop. Fuck it. I love the police. It's my way of giving back. If you're a cop, 10% off.
30 minutes ago, you said if I see a cop, I will shoot myself in the face.
Well, yeah. I mean, I love that wasn't against the police. That was against my potential incarceration for doing first and last names and being ratchet. So, a few of the activities that will be taking place on Man Camp. One, you will be learning to build a fire from scratch. You will be building fires, massive fires. We're going to have huge fires. Huge. There will be masculine bonding activities. So I've really found that a major situation that a lot of men that even find themselves in pickup have is also just not really having close friends and sort of struggling to bond with people and other men in general. And we're going to have activities where most people will be coming to Man Camp alone. You're free to bring a friend. You definitely can come with a squad or whatever. But I'm setting it up where you're going to be forced. Everybody's going to be forced to really like powwow. We're going to set up like these small little events where everyone's really getting to know each other. There's going to be like vulnerability prompts and shit. So it's also not just, oh, how was the drive in and whatever. It's like they're all forced to answer some really deep shit to get to know each other at deeper levels. There's going to be a lot of that. We're going to be doing a rage therapy, rage trauma releases. So I've done a lot of research on trauma releases, and one of the most effective ones for men, because so many of us have so much pent up rage within us. This event that happened, you got punked out by some fucking kid and you held it, and you think it went away. It never went away. It's trapped within you. This girl that devastated you 10 years ago. And you think it went away because time healed. But did time ever truly heal? Or did that rage just get further and further down within you and get pent up within you? And it keeps you from living your life to the fullest and feeling free and feeling happy and feeling like you're able to feel joy again. So there will be rage trauma releases. We're getting well-versed in how to run these trauma releases and doing a lot of that. There will be group guided meditations, really cool, amazing guided meditations. We started doing some of those on the boot camps, and guys were loving them. And we're going to do new ones. We're going to do new, exciting ones, all as a giant community of men all coming together. It's going to be very tribal, very primal, the whole thing. Go ahead.
You want to do physical things too.
Many physical.
Very physical.
Many physical things, yes. Some of these, I'll talk about one in particular. Many of these will be optional. And the reason why, and nobody would be shamed, but it's like, so for example, there's going to be sumo wrestling. When you think of sumo wrestling, you assume like, oh, these two big fat Japanese guys. All sumo wrestling really is, it's kind of a cool form of wrestling where there's no punching, there's no kicking. It's just that you're in a ring, and the goal of the sumo wrestling is to get the person out of the ring. So that's why sumo wrestlers get so fat and huge, because the more weight they can move at somebody, the more they're likely to get them out of the ring. And, some people are going to come and they have legit like shoulder injuries that they've dealt with for the last few years and these various things. So when somebody says, oh, I don't want to do the sumo wrestling, they don't have to. There's going to be extremely grueling physical activity that is optional. And that most people will do. But if you don't, there will be absolutely no shaming, again, because of injuries or asthma, things to that nature. You're going to be digging holes. How's that sound? Whoa! I wasn't going to sign up till I found out I was digging holes. Wow. Way to really sell it. So that's about all I'm really willing to get into right now. I'm looking down at my notes, and there's just going to be so much. This is going to be an extremely well-organized event. There will be so many activities that we will have to be on strict schedules for a lot of it. You guys will arrive at the location at the airport or driving to the location on Friday. For anybody flying in, you will be bused. We will be providing all of your transportation. You will be hauled to the secret location in Ohio where we're going to be doing this. And you will be shuttled back to the airport at the very end of the program. Everything is completely included. You need only bring positive energy, optimism, excitement, and swim trunks and clothes. That's all you need to bring. And everything else is included. So I'm incredibly excited. I feel like that was enough for now for just the first little announcement, the first kind of teaser announcement. Again, guys, this is not till September. You will have to be signed up by July 1st, no exceptions whatsoever. As soon as you sign up, some of your money will be used to be purchasing, what we will be having in store for you guys there. And that's why we're going to need everybody to sign up in advance by July 1st. So I highly recommend signing up now. Right now, we have a very special early bird price. Again, it's all at evolutiondaily.com. The price is going to go up between now and June. And if you jump on it now, we have a payment plan available. The payment plan won't be available as the time comes closer. So if this is something to you where you think to yourself, I'm ready to try something I've never tried before, because I feel that me going into the woods for that couple of days was me doing something that was very outside of my comfort zone. I told you I was feeling the resistance to not going out there. It felt so counterintuitive to my goals. My goals are all online and this business and game and girls and these things and the gym and all these things are here. These are my goals. And now I'm just going to the woods and I can't what the fuck am I doing? I felt all the resistance coming up. I did something that I've never done before that was outside of my comfort zone. And I've already been so spiritually, financially, emotionally rewarded in so many ways for doing that thing. And so for you guys, if you've tried things in the past and there's just this part of you that just still feels like you're not living optimally, this is about living. Dude, I'm passionate about pickup and masculinity and personal development and all of these subjects. I'm passionate about them because I think deep down there's a part of me that feels like I've suffered horrific deaths in my past life. Like bad.
You've told me this too.
Bad early deaths. I feel like I have this innate knowing inside of me that I think only comes from past lives, man. It's like if you've never felt an emotion in your current life, but you can feel that emotion still. It's like got to have come from somewhere. And I think that I've felt in a past life the emotion of extreme and severe early death regret. I think I've felt it. I truly believe I have. And I just inherently know how short life is. I'm only 30. I feel 100. I've lived lifetimes already. And I just know that regardless of your religious stance of Christianity or Judaism or you're atheist or whatever, we at least can all agree that at least this one physical life that you have as whoever you are right now, it's going to come to an end. And as you are laying there on the pavement or in your deathbed or however you end up dying, you're going to look back. And if you lived in suffering and misery, then every day leading to that death shall be hell. And that final day that you die will be hell. You will be looking back on everything that you didn't do, the days and years of misery. I remember that Evolution Daily guy. Yeah, he always told me I could have met more women and been more in touch with my masculinity and been happy. I wish I would have listened to that guy. I really wish I would have done a little more. And you lived in fucking misery on Oxycontin, smoking Marlboro Red 100s. That's what you did your whole life. So this man camp is your opportunity to do something fucking crazy. This is going to be insane. It's gonna be nuts. I might go to jail for this program. This might be it for me.
Will I be going to jail?
You are more complicit than me in this whole program in many ways. They will separate us, and I will be pinning it all on you. This was all him. He drugged me. I don't even know what he did. I will be blaming you from the fucking rooftops for this program. It's going to be insane and the most fun you've ever had in your entire life. And you'll see on the page, when you go to evolutiondaily.com and you click Man Camp, you're going to see that also included for 100% free, completely inclusive in this program are going to be very professional group photos, amazing professional group photos. And the reason why I want to do that is, one, because I want people to have these amazing photos to remember the program. I want to have them to remember the program. And not only that, but also they'll be great for online dating profiles. They'll be great for social media to, just to show people, just to have this amazing weekend that's captured. So you're all going to get completely for free these incredible professional, the most professional it gets, group photographs. Flash forward to the program and it's you running around with my iPhone, just snapping blurry ass photos. As professional as it gets. No, we will be having a professional photographer at the event. And so you're just especially for you, I'm sorry if you're watching this months in advance, but for anybody that is here now and jumps on this early bird special, and then as well as the payment plan, which the payment plan makes it an absolute, like, dude, you could work at fucking McDonald's and afford this easily with the way I set up the payment plan for this. Absolute no-brainer. So again, I apologize if in the future the price is up and there is no payment plan, but you should be watching this week's episode and not the episode from weeks ago anyway. So guys, jump on this opportunity. Man Camp will go down in history. I will be jailed more than likely, and you will come out feeling so confident. We'll also be actually creating a Facebook group for everybody that was at the Man Camp. So that way then, like, if you didn't get somebody's phone number or whatever, someone that you did really bond with and you had this quick conversation about business and then you decide like, oh, I want to connect with them, they'll all be in one like easy database that only the people at the program will be in. And so that way we can all keep in touch. Dude, there's like some guys on fucking boot camps in the past that are like some of my like best friends at this point almost, I'm going to fucking stay with this guy in Austin for like 3 days. He's just like a good friend at this point. These programs create lifelong friendships, lifelong opportunities. And for so many of you, this is just one thing I want to say too about even friendships and shit is I've always kind of, it's a little fucked up, but when I got really into game, I really did kind of cut off all friends in my life that were not in the game, which maybe not the best thing, but it was just that this was all I wanted to do and focus on was being better. So I'd meet up with these guys. Like I met up with Chuck last night, who's one of these guys I met through game and is one of my best friends still. And we talk about amazing shit. We talk about big ideas in business, and we're talking Man Camp and amazing high-level ideas. And so these are the people that you want to be your fucking friend, are people that are so drawn to being masculine leaders in this life that they're drawn to Man Camp. These are the people you want to have contact with as you grow and to help you grow and to help them grow. These are the people. So even just for the fucking networking opportunity of this program, insane. So that's it, boys. I'm back from the woods. Man Camp is live. EvolutionDaily.com. This is episode 92 of the Evolution Daily podcast. Should I still get that Bruce Buffer intro? the UFC announcer?
Maybe.
I think I should. He'd be like, and now you are tuning in. It'd be so sick. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that today, actually. I'm going to hit him up. I'm going to get Bruce Buffer to do this girl from my high school accepted my follow request. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. EvolutionDaily.com for Man Camp. This will go down in history. People will be, it's going to be shocking. I mean, for everything I have in store, I'm going all out. I want you guys to know this program is going to cost me thousands upon thousands of dollars because we're going so all out. This ain't like you show up to a field and I'm just standing there with an umbrella like, all right, guys, here we are. I mean, this is going to be fucking insane. I'm going to spend $20K on this program.
We might be unrooting like ancestral, like decades of centuries of ancestral masculine pain from these guys. Who are they going to be when they go back into society? We don't even know.
Strong.
Barbarians.
Strong, masculine. We all have. It's like Fight Club. He had this monster within him throughout his whole life. But that monster got beaten down. You've seen Fight Club.
His inner Brad Pitt.
Have you seen Fight Club?
Of course.
You're going to go from beating down Edward Norton at the beginning of Fight Club to Brad Pitt, to fucking Tyler Durden. That's who you're going to become on this program. That movie is so symbolic to actually kind of what we're trying to do here with Man Camp. He is just this beaten down man living in this feminized, horrible society designed to create consumers, because the more consumers you create, then the more you get to sell shit. And then he becomes this absolute savage fucking animal. And he was so probably mentally ill, but it was so outside of who he was that he couldn't even believe it. And for guys that have experienced massive transformation, you can relate to that. I can relate to that. Sometimes when I'm just balls deep in the hottest little fucking 21-year-old chick I've ever seen, I'm fucking 30 years old, and she's just got pierced nips. She's fucking hot. I'm smacking around. We're fucking. It's all consensual and great. And sometimes my little fat kid kind of rises inside me, and he's like, I can't believe we did this. Wow, look at what you're doing now. And I'm like, shut up, faggot. And then I fucking keep fucking her. It's amazing. And that's what's going to happen at Man Camp. So the podcast always gets a little worse near the end. A little more ratchet, a little more. I'm just dropping faggot now at the end of the pod.
Well, you were calling yourself. It wasn't at a specific person.
True. I was literally calling my own fat 15-year-old self that.
I'm sure you high-five your fat self every time internally that you're banging.
He high-fives me.
He's high-fives you.
Yeah.
And then you call him a faggot.
Yeah, he looks back at wanting to fuck Olivia Brock for so many years and Aaron Mokri and these different people. And then he says, wow, these girls now are so much hotter than those girls ever were. And at that time, you could have told me this at that time. When I was 15, you could have came to me and said, you get to have sex with Aaron Mokri for a whole week, but then you die after. I would have done it. It wouldn't have taken, it would have been a millisecond.
It doesn't take much to kill you, to get you to.
It would have been, I feel this way sometimes. There's a song, he says, oh yeah, life goes on long after the thrill of living is gone. And I feel like there's no more thrill to living. I felt that way for a little while until Man Camp. Now I feel like I have something to live for. Yeah, at a certain point, it was just like, okay, cool. More money, more bitches. Life's great. Gratitude, law of attraction. This video's funny. Cool. And now it's like, here we go. This is it. This is my life's purpose. This is all there is. This and this Julius Caesar statue. Thank you guys for tuning in. Don't tell Erin what I said about her. I used to always make jokes about us having the same name and what the sex would be like because we have the same name and just weird shit. And I'm still a weirdo. I'll never stop being weird and strange and on the fringes of society. But I enjoy being that. I enjoy it. You know, I think that society also tries to beat us into maturity. You ever notice that?
They shame
society,
the boy.
Well, especially you. That you could definitely relate to this. You know, like just society beating you into trying to be like act your age and be more mature and these kinds of things. And there's so many of you that want to live out like this is like the Goonies. Man Camp is literally like the fucking Goonies, bro. We're just all in this crazy, fun, like youthful adventure in the wilderness, 64 acres of isolated, no limits land, forest, and field. This is the EvolutionDaily.com. Sign up. I don't even want to wrap this up. I'm just having fun now. What else could I talk about? How long have we done?
About an hour.
Hour and 3 minutes. Trump recently announced that he'll be running for the 2024 presidency. No, I'm kidding. We're done, guys. Tune in this Wednesday. Guys, leave this podcast a 5-star review. Don't do anything. I don't care. Do 2 things. 1, hit up a friend and send them this podcast and say, hey, man, you should listen to this podcast. And maybe they're going to be like my fucking dumbass friend Kyle, who's going to hit you back and say, that sounds gay. I'm not really like into that, like the girding girls shit. It's like kind of pathetic. It's kind of fucking pathetic. They're probably going to hit you up with that. But hey, share the podcast with a friend and sign up for Man Camp while it's still on the early bird discount price and it's still got the payment plan, because you're going to want to be there. You're going to look back on your life and you're going to say, this is one of the highlights. Let me tell you a little fact of life, okay? Let me tell you a little fucking fact about life. You watch a movie like Blow, and you watch the movie Blow, and his life is so crazy in Blow. Have you ever seen it?
No, I haven't.
Jesus Christ, man. You got to watch Blow. Everyone needs to watch Blow. It is really top 10 of all time.
Okay.
It is like truly top 10. And exciting and fun and awesome. You watch Blow, and it just, a movie is a highlight reel. This movie is over like 30 years of this guy's life. So you watch a movie of somebody's life, and it just seems like every day was so insane. It's not true. Your life is a series of mundane, boring days. Nose to the grindstone, going to the gym over and over and over again, hoping your biceps grow a little bit, tuning into your calories a little bit, hoping that over the 6 months you lose a little fat while gaining some muscle, watching this fucking ClickFunnels videos over and over and over. You're just living a mundane life every day. And then there's massive highlights. And you watch a movie like Blow, and they're not going to show the mundane days. They show the fucking highlight. You want to fill your life with highlights. You want to have your movie be Blow. You want your life's movie to be Blow. You don't want it to be... I'm trying to think of like the most boring movie ever. Is there like a really... There Will Be Blood. That movie sucked. Terrible movie. You don't want it to be There Will Be Blood. It's the worst movie of all time. And you have to fill it up with highlights. That's the key to life, is filling it up with highlights. Man Camp will be one of the top 2 highlights of your life. I got to say top 2. Probably number 1, more so than the birth of your child. People always say that. The best day of my life was the birth of my child. Okay, so for 9 months, you knew the kid was coming. You've seen a birth on TV. Why was this day the best day of your fucking life?
Maybe
this
Man
fat
Camp,
little rot.
Maybe Man Camp is number 2 highlight because number 1 is how you're going to feel after the Man Camp.
Yes, then it'll come.
Who you're going to be after Man Camp.
Who you're going to be in the experiences that you have after the Man Camp, coming out of this fucking program, a new man. You are like, right now, you're this like slop. You're just sitting there. You're a slop pool of mud from Lord of the Rings in the 2 Towers. You're a slop pile of mud. And then you rise like a fucking Uruk-hai warrior, ripped from the mud. Just, and you're a killing machine. You're a savage. You're a fucking animal. An animal. That's what you are when you leave Man Camp. No longer a caged. This was really interesting. I heard this the other day. There have been a lot of studies done where they study for a period of years and years an animal in captivity, and then an animal from the same whatever it is, like a lion pride or whatever they call gorillas. They're what do they call gorillas?
Like their group, like their squad.
Yeah,
whatever.
like a gorilla squad, whatever.
Gorilla squad.
That's what it's called. And then they'll study like the gorillas of the same gender from the natural, the ones that stayed natural, and they study the behaviors of these animals. And animals that are in captivity always end up adopting extremely anxious behaviors because they're in captivity. So, for example, nowhere in nature will an elephant grind its husk on anything for any reason. They let their husks naturally grow as long as possible. And in captivity, an elephant will position itself against a wall and grind its tusks all day.
I feel in captivity.
Yes.
In society.
Yes.
And I think about The Matrix, Neo in the beginning, when he's just going to his work every day and the boss is yelling at him. And I think that's a good analogy. It's Neo in the Matrix, pre-Neo in the Matrix, and then Neo, the one in the Matrix.
After the red pill,
After the red pill is kind of the best like man camp society relationship.
That's interesting. I never thought about this, but Fight Club and Matrix are very similar movies. It's kind of like almost the same hero character development in a lot of ways.
It feels like a man's movie.
Yeah. Dude, I would love to rewatch The Matrix. It's so cool. I rewatched it like a year and a half ago, I think. What's funny? Do you think this is rambling?
I don't know.
This is not rambling.
Whatever.
You don't know good podcasting. I know what good podcasting
Keep
is.
going.
Somebody's listening right now, and they were like, Alpha Chad, don't cut him off. This is a good rant about Matrix. And then here you are, fucking trying to stop the show.
Talk about Matrix. I want to hear.
Whatever. All right, guys. No, I did rewatch like a year ago, and it was really cool. When you're older and watch it, it's like you get more out of it. You know, I hadn't really watched it since I know I saw one of the Matrix movies in theaters, so it's probably around that time that I'd ever watched it. And at the time, it's cool, and you remember the concepts and stuff. But then the shit like Morpheus really drops, and even the different people on the ship, and you're like, whoa, this is crazy.
It's all a metaphor, right?
Yeah, it is. It is for sure. All right, guys, thank you for tuning in. Tell a friend about this podcast. Sign up for Man Camp. Bring a friend. If you try to bring a friend to Man Camp, I've already made this a decision. I will intentionally be separating you and your friend in many ways. The point is not for you and your friend to come and have a great weekend together where you only stick to each other. That's what I want to make sure doesn't happen. I've gone to events with friends and have had to like tell my friend, hey man, I'm going to kind of like do my own thing for a little bit. They want to just cling to you and like hang on to you. But I'm like, I'm kind of here to meet new people too. That's why I'm here. This is why too, I see like friends go to a Tony Robbins event. I'm not going to a Tony Robbins event with a friend. We're going to stand there together and fucking like scream about Tony or something. I'm there to... I'm at an event a lot of times to network, I guess is the way to put it.
Right.
So I don't want to, you're my friend. I don't want to have lunch with you and like meet people with you. I want to be alone and be like forced to meet other people and then see another alone person and go talk to the alone person. And so come to Man Camp alone or bring a friend. You'll be separated from your friend at times against your will. And many things will be against your will. What?
Just the image of them like, no.
We're pulling them apart. Like the fucking Holocaust, like kids and fucking parents. Mommy, no. Come. All right, guys. That's about it for this episode of the podcast. Sign up for Man Camp. Tell a friend. Bring a friend. Do whatever you want to do. But do the right thing. Evolutionary.com/Man Camp. Or just evolutionary. It's all good. Goodbye.